You're all set.
Yeah, of course. Okay, folks, thank you. Councilor Pronounce's excuse tonight, all right? So we're going to call the Public Safety Committee to order. It is August 15th. It is 5:02 p.m. Now take a motion to approve the minutes of the July 25th, 2022 Public Safety Committee meeting. Councilor Bob, second, Councilor Kelly, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. We have a number of discussion items tonight. And then also a number of couple items to approve for the regular meeting. 2.1 discussion, a monthly violations report, as well as a number of other complaint reports and permit and applications from the building inspector's office. Sure. I don't think we'll find anything super abnormal, but
Did you all get the report?
we do get the report that put in the folder.
I did have a staff member was on vacation, so I got a copy.
Okay, thank you.
Monthly violation. The month of July. We had 39 proactive violations. 37 were remedied, 2 were in progress. Citizen complaints for July, we had 10. Let's see. 9 were resolved, 1 is in progress. For the year. For the year, we've got 341 proactive complaints. 330 been resolved, 11 are still in progress. And for the year on citizen complaints, we've got 108 total, 98 have been resolved, 10 are in progress. You know, we for 10 years we've averaged 500 citizen complaints a year. We're on pace now to do projection of 187. You know, and that's a large part of our proactive effort that we established 3 years ago. Any questions on complaints?
The permit application from residents is also pretty straightforward. I believe there's a comparison in there as well. See how well we're doing.
You all have that. We've issued 255 building permits year to date, as compared to 275 last year. This time, but taking in about $6,000 more in revenue by way of permits.
All right, thank you. Any questions for the building inspector? Thank you.
We expect that Cumberland Avenue issue. I met with Public Works, and they're going to take back that vegetation as a visibility.
Okay,
Yeah,
great.
thank you.
For that update.
Thank you. And as you're as most are aware from the weekly meetings that Councilor Kelly and I have, there are a number of other initiatives that building inspector's office and my office is working towards, that includes the garbage collection and garbage downtown, how that's handled and how that's presented downtown, as well as some of the housing concerns that we have, not only regionally, but certainly within the city of Plattsburgh, that we're looking at putting together a small group of folks to start to brainstorm how to start to solve that. Some tools that we can leverage to solve it. Police department, 3.1 through 3.5 are the number of reports that we do provide the council. Chief York to come and discuss.
Now, you have a copy of all the reports, correct, folks?
Yes,
First of all, did anybody have any questions about it?
Want that with me?
You want me to go through each one there?
if there are specific questions, that would be better, but if there aren't, then if there's anything to highlight, please. Feel free to highlight
If you
them.
look at it on the budget, as you can see, we're almost through our overtime budget this year, like $1,700 remaining. We're certainly gonna blow by that if we haven't already. So I mean, I think that's something this board has been aware of for a number of months. Want to bring that to you. And the youth safety advocate agreement is here. Mayor,
Yes,
you and I spoke initially about possibly putting on more of these for the school, and I know the superintendent's probably in favor of that. I think we need to sit down and discuss it. This one is for the two that we already have,
mhm,
and I talked to Jalen one, yeah, I talked to him about the officers who are capable of making $35,000 a year. They've been paying them 30. So I asked him about the school and they're paid to make it legally make, and he's going to bring that to this board. So
yeah, this is the increase of youth safety advocates that we had discussed with the school district was based primarily on the issue that we saw that we've seen with school shootings. I don't as I can hardly even talk about it without getting emotional. It's one of those things that I think that we often feel, and I think many communities feel like we're immune to these things, but guarantee we are not immune to them. And I would just hate to be in a situation where we didn't have these conversations to at least until another solution presented itself, at least have more public safety presence in our schools. But again, that's, for the city of Plattsburgh to offer. We revised this program last year to be less of a officer force or officer presence in the school and more of a safety advocate, somebody that can be more approachable, had very clear guidelines for operating in the school in partnership with the administration. And we feel it's been going very well since this program was revised. So
they've been well accepted at
yes,
the school, the two that we have, and they're certainly open to, as you mentioned, after this last incident with the children being killed, they're certainly open to putting one in every school. So that's something that they have to bring up for their budget process in December and January. So certainly it's something to bring back up. I think at least the mayor, the superintendent, and I should sit down and discuss it at some point.
yeah, thank you. Thank you. Any questions? Okay. 3.6 draft resolution authorizing travel requests. Motion by Councilor Bob, second. Councilor Kelly, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 3.7 draft resolution authorizing contract for youth safety advocate. Motion by Councilor Bob, second. I'll second. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
One in the negative. As per the ongoing implementation of EO 203, I've asked Hillary Rogers to come and discuss their overview of the EO 203 implementation process thus far. Ms. Rogers has provided a very comprehensive line by line response to the EO 203 implementation thus far. I've asked Hillary to come and discuss that and the panel's recommendation. That is an independent panel that reviews ongoing implementations and then makes recommendations. So Hillary, I'm going to hand it off to you if you don't mind just reviewing the document that you provided us, and we can just go from there.
Thank you, Mayor. So with being about a year and a half into the EO 203 implementation, we really wanted to look at specific things that we haven't gotten information on. We're very pleased with a lot of the stuff that the police department has implemented. And, a lot of the questions, and I'm sure that I don't know when you got them, if you had time to go through and look at them at the review of it. But a lot of it is just asking for additional information, more specifics on what is actually going on. So we know that a middle management plan has been implemented, but what is that plan? And that's a lot of our questions, kind of along with the training is that, we know that Police One training should not be the sole training platform, and that's been acknowledged. But what is this? What is the city doing to seek out, engage with in-person trainings? Who is taking what trainings? How are they deciding who's getting trainings? So those are the kind of things that we're looking for more information. Is that a lot of the information we're gathering is great information, just need a little bit more to make sure that we're getting to the next level of what's going on. One of the things we're concerned with and looking into, and I understand it's been addressed, is that up until now, there hadn't been a report to the Public Safety Committee. And by Public Safety Committee, I'm referring to your committee as the city, not what we previously were as the Public Safety Committee Review Panel, because we know that it's a personnel issue, but looking at information data gathering where the police department is providing to you information regarding complaints, not just when use of force happens, but when civilian complaints are coming in about excessive aggression or speeding by the officers, because those issues can escalate to other issues, and goes back to the mental health and wellness of the officers. And so I believe that has been addressed, and we're pleased with that, so that at least there's an additional overview, and that's all that we're looking for. We're not looking for the information. As I stated, we know that it's a personnel. It has to do with personnel, and it's outside the scope of any public information. So we're not looking for the information. We just wanted to make sure that there is additional oversight over those kind of issues, and to see if there's a pattern, right? Like we want to know if there's a pattern with certain officers that are escalating to the point where maybe use of force maybe coming down the pipeline with individuals. Other than that, most of it is, some of the recommendations we had been over the last year, there's been a couple requests for information, but we knew that a lot of things, especially like the body worn cameras and different implementations of trainings and things, would take a little while to implement. And so we did not, address those specifically. So I think that some of the responses that we've received from the police department in the city didn't address those. So we're just looking to get those addressed now. We did a more comprehensive review we sat down and we went through each of the panel recommendations, what was provided to us and what we thought needed more information going forward. Does anyone have, otherwise, everything's pretty well laid out in question and format, but if anybody has any questions, I'm more than willing to answer them.
I know you and I spoke, and after that conversation, there was definitely a lot of reviewing of going back and looking at those recommendations and what we have accomplished. The reports that we do provide are anonymous in terms of personnel and those types of subject management reports and complaint reports. They are anonymous, so they don't have explicit personnel information in them. So that is available. Does that get posted to the website, Beth, that those reports, the subject management reports, as part of this package?
Everything that with this committee that's on our Google folder is published.
Yeah, so that information is available, made available for review, even though it's not. Again, you can't look at it and be like, oh, I know who this officer is, kind of thing. We did that.
Does the Public Safety Committee know though?
Yes.
Who they are? It's just.
We don't know explicitly who they are. We don't know them as individual names, but we do refer back to the police department to determine who they are.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's important to know who they are for your purposes, not for, public disclosure, but at least for purposes of having that oversight on it.
Mayor, I think that information you can get anytime you want. Just
Right.
call over and say, well, who's this person? And who tell you.
Yeah.
So I think that's That's easy.
It could be something we're, occasionally getting information on, is, because as was pointed out by Hillary, if we were noticing that there were certain patterns.
Yes.
This is what allows us that extra layer of oversight. Not that we're trying to micromanage, but just have awareness.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and I would note too, is I've had a lot of conversations with Lieutenant Conley, and anytime there's been questions about things, he's been more than willing to answer my questions, to the best of what he can tell me without disclosing anything that he's not allowed to. So we appreciate that as well. And the rest of it is just information.
Okay.
It's very helpful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing it.
Yeah.
If we have any follow-up questions, can we reach out?
Of course.
Great, thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, 4.1, discussion, 4.1, 2, and 3 discussions from the fire chief.
Good evening. Number one is monthly call report. Fire and EMS, I broke it down a little different this time in format. And to do even better next month, but you're gonna see the EMS call line. I laid it out pretty straightforward for you. So that you don't have to go through all the reports and try to disseminate and decipher. So I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. You see right now we're 1,851. That is at the end of July. So we're on track to meet exactly what we did last year, which was 3,200 calls. So we're on track for that. As you can see, when you go all the way back to 2015, like we discussed before, that is an increase from 2,600 calls in 2015. So we're seeing an increase in calls for service for EMS. I also did one for your EMS revenue, so that you're going to see what monthly we're bringing in. I think that's beneficial also, so that we can see that we're tracking along where we're supposed to be. No big surprise there. We're going to be our numbers are coming in where we expected them to be budget wise. So a lot of times what will happen is we will bill in December and we won't see those revenues come in till January. So we're going to see a change at the end. So as long as we're coming in where we need to be, January, we won't get posted until we're December won't get posted until we're to January. Fire calls, we're already at 616. So that's calls for service that we do. You're going to see a lot of them are EMS or medical. That is them running and assisting and helping out whenever they need to. We've been reviewing keeping an eye on our false parts and false calls. That is part of our automatic alarm initiative, and we are not seeing any particular places that are jumping out. If they do, we get in touch with the building inspector, and he does a follow up. So that's those monthly reports. Payroll and overtime. Our overtime as Lake PD, we are at the end of where we are. Given what my report was last month, you can see why we've been going through. But also, if you look at your regular payroll, we're at 50%. So that money's going to help offset any overages we get in overtime. Right now, we're 3 positions that are not filled. We have 3 out that are injured. So we have 30 available, 2 that are out, 30 leave are now back. So that's helping. Mayor, did you want to speak on the assistant chief part?
As noted last time, and certainly late last year, we had an ongoing conversation for additional management support in the fire department. This is, I think if we do the calculation, this is the 2nd largest department in the general fund. Right now, we have 1 full-time chief, some 36-ish employees, and not a lot of secondary support in that department. For the plan last year, it was recommended by my office and by the fire chief to hire a part-time assistant just to get us through. Essentially, somebody who could be there, who could be second in command create a lot of these training opportunities needed, help offset some of the overtime expenses that was incurred from training and from having somebody there to support the department. As it is now, that was shifted and advocacy for a full-time assistant fire chief was made and budgeted for. This is something that we're now halfway through the year on, and we could feel like we lost a little bit of ground without having a part-time assistant chief. So it is something that I would like to move on and to be able to move on in partnership with fire department. Now, I also know that there are some concerns expressed on budgeting and staffing in the fire department. That's something that we continue to work on and we'll continue to work through. But again, I think that having this management support helps with that level of organization, staffing management, and the needs of that department.
This would be, if we were to do something as a stopgap, that's only until the civil services name is given, which we're expecting if it follows timelines, probably in January. So hopefully we get the list back May, and then we will follow all civil service rules for appointment.
Any questions on that? Comments? Okay, 4.4 draft resolution authorizing budget adjustment to the 2022 general fund budget to provide an increase in fire employment training costs. Motion. Councilor Kelly, second. Councilor Bob, discussion. This is a budget transfer from state funding, state aid for $7,500, and then additional funding transfer from fire department fees into fire training and education.
So the total is 9,000.
Correct.
Not like 3,700.
No, the total is, the total was 9,020. That is a transfer from state and local chamber of commerce funding. And as the resolution notes, this does not increase general fund expenses. This is a budget neutral transfer. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. We are gonna go into executive session, but if there's anybody in the audience who wish to make a public comment, now is the time to be able to do that. No, thank you. Is there any new business coming before this committee? Seeing none, I'll now entertain a motion to go into executive session regarding a personnel matter pertaining to a particular employee. Motion by Councilor Bob, second by Councilor Kelly. We're now in executive session. I don't have a key. I don't have a key to the back.
Are you going to want more changes?
No.
A lot of issues, American insurance, a lot of complaints, we've got a lot of complaints. If there's something that we're doing on advertising. How many days? Days are still too many days, so I'm gonna break in the months, we all that one day.
Have to check out. You are not. Seven. I have to get to another mayor, 2 mayors. One more term. Term and a half. I'll get through it.
All right.
Okay, hopefully we have our city ops right after, so we're gonna hopefully be done before you need it at 7. City ops is pretty quick.
6:30, we're done.
Okay,
But usually
city ops. is pretty quick.
between 6:30 and quarter of, somebody wants to get up here and get things going. You think it'd be enough of that?
I hope so.
Yeah. You can't go on vacation now.
Why?
So then all these questions. Simple. They won't work keeping it up a lot.
You what?
I said they weren't worth keeping it up a lot.
Yeah. So we can try to get that, you know, I used to, I have almost.
I've got a break from the. Before that. That's why we sending you like 4 reports instead of just one being all as one and sending it. Yeah, I thought that putting them together as one was better, that way you just open it up and you tap. Yeah, it is. See that whole broccoli flyer.
Yeah, it's something, I'll push old stuff like that. And that's just Julia really explained, she complains like, oh my dad had taken out auditions and stuff. We had those.
Tillers and. I remember.
So I put I know that I'm having store, so I thought they were this one bin. But we were looking through that. And then your mom.
Yeah, the basement, and then we've got stairs into the.
Yeah.
She had that. It wasn't good. So, it's been under the wall, we haven't signed it, because used to hold the gym. Gyms, palms, stuff like that. So that's the reason I'm not one of the.
She has a picture of you guys that I have too, the one where they're standing in the station wagon, or they have a.
Yeah, that was that one particular.
Funny to me, my dad had a burger like that, it's old wooden. So it's huge, you probably do that, those 4 chairs from.
Right.
He took it back to print, he wrapped it up and bought it, his one flight way back from my dad's time. And Jamie gave it to him, so he took that, he wrapped it all up, and he's got it hanging downstairs.
This was still their long stuff, like it's I didn't play it, I didn't want to.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But that's,
And I have a little one that's, it was one that you bought, and then it's covered.
yeah,
It's like it was the manufacturer of cable down.
Jim used to have the cup.
Yeah. Then you're not sure about it, sometimes don't worry.
I used to have to hand off there. We're little, he'd stand there, he'd stand on the brakes. You still the brakes, and he'd say, let's all get out there, then have to go around.
Oh my God.
He's one from these students. Had me sit down. He said, I got to talk, he said, just sit at the night, just learn what you did, because I was high school. She jumped in at the same time, so he was staying by the town. And then, he wanted to think that taking them off. It was not about it's still possible. never seen one so I'm making
Like the cartoon. Like that, this is stuff in the head. Like the husband and wife. Or moving guns to get qualified. But he's trying to start it so much. And we do that, and what is that, do that. It's just. Moving. But you know. Those are this, time to time. This, and that's. And then turn around and say, oh, sorry. I'm very.
Yes.
And then, but I could see most of the both. And so when I found all this stuff, and I went to each of them, I started about my friends. One of them supposed to see it, but I'm here. You know, I have a picture of things in front of. The whole line of this is getting them.
And then we had a brother, Kurt.
Yeah.
Kurt Mall, his son, watches his friends. Stuff. It's Chris Mall, so it's small.
They were writing the first one again, they use it again.
We covered online.
Okay.
And then Brian was a kid, but yeah. I see one of them just looking at you.
Great. If you would know him, anyway, he's not changed. He's got a little gray hair, that's it.
He works on these guys, it's
No, he's not, he's under 60, he's not. First choosing the challenge in terms of care.
yeah, I'm gonna say he's gotta be close to see.
I think he's 70.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe a little bit.
He's thanks to going to,
Oh,
because he always keep in and he was always smiling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he was also in the military here. He was, then he was working while he was, just, he's like, yeah, I'll stay here. But he worked at the airport, but that was just,
Guys.
now it's the Holy Spirit, he's doing all that. I think this, I don't know if I'm tiresome, because it's like he was certainly well. You work on before you go.
No, you never know.
Just wonder what happened to them. Actually,
Yeah, right.
Seems always a joke.
Where is he?
I don't know what's really if he's moved on. It's like,
I saw her. It's a story, but we got this one, so I can't really tell you much. Maybe.
you probably did one day. Oh, they have. remember her. She was funny, but she.
Say something to the water this. Who's teaching? Last night he was thinking. The Middle East teaching how to fire. He was the one who was that was probably after the military state form. They had the dead right to want to go to lost the house.
It's funny again with the after.
So everything was used to. And couldn't you?
Well, but the dog, another dog. You really want to change it. Go by that, maybe. Yeah.
So that's what they had to do.
Is Steven so far?
Yeah. He's, I've talked to Steve in a couple of years, maybe it's one of the ones, the COVID hit and we also got busy.
Yeah.
He was flying in and then he was around. You can touch base on birth, that's what we made sure.
So you find Delta?
Uh,
If you want for Delta, that's what you do.
Yeah, he was flying right seat for Delta, and don't know this big captain.
Just always look because I'm not gonna be doing stuff.
Well, my lost brother. His both our friends and his almost got me set.
Oh, come on.
He's got so much in money. And he's coming. So they do. He said, they must he is
So we're going.
Else, he does it probably 2 to 3 times a year. You know.
I was just talking to my brother about that when I was crazy.
Yeah.
Whenever he was on my people, my friend was there, was on. You know, go to her southern station. I think it's not. So I fly. Remember the shot with. I fly out on the flight there afterwards. Was time change. I get there and it's still on 9 o'clock. And then I go Stay overnight, stay, all this Saturday, we take the red eye down there, and on Saturday night, we'll be back on Sunday, we can sleep all day. Yeah. Yeah, just. Yeah.
Yeah, the mortgage is paying some kind of the stream came out of it. I didn't realize it's.
I'll be blaming you back. For the like, the open.
Easy, sir.
Oh, okay, the stairs are up there.
Yeah, so the building was supposed to start. Right now, this is the last full week. I think. Since 4 days a week on there. It's a long haul.
Yeah. You can just, if I mean, it's kind of what you want to do. Like he would just start getting, originally just started out showing. He don't have to try to do it's not right, just to look at it, they can essentially. And it will, probably in 2 days. Just done. It's like.
And there's small. There's like that situation. Situation. They can work through it.
Yeah. Well, he, he'll start, when he thinks this is right now, to the other. Seems to be well. I don't think it could be paused.
Yeah.
Should be done very well. Well, he's not crazy. Well, that's the
Well,
thing.
that's the thing. You
Then
get the words to that.
he didn't, he's never gonna lose his job. That's all. But, the guys. I think that if I could get, show this good to people. Yeah, it's like,
Yeah. So.
I don't think this was American, because it's like, he's a.
Yeah, the. It's hang.
Oh, okay.
You know, there's.
Yeah, he goes to, maybe that's house.
Yeah.
One of you use those.
I don't know.
Probably not that.
Unless you get some. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's funny because he was on, so he was in the job now.
Yeah. Yeah. He wants to see John.
Because he's killed him,
Wants to see.
and he's
Is he?
on the board too.
Is he?
And then there's, I know there's 2 brothers. Which son is this, John, his dad, or?
Has to be John. It's not friends.
Yeah, it's not that, it's going to get the lawyer.
Yeah, I think Chris gets it gone somewhere.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know, James, he's funny. He was just cleaning the clothes and he was working on his stuff. Yeah. Well, did you work when you first started? Since the law enforcement?
Mark. That's.
Yeah, so I'm a little too careful, so I'm very fine, small. Of course, everybody's gonna find it now, no, it's here in person for a year, I'm not shipping all that stuff.
Sure, but I know my parents. All
From your, yeah. So how did your dad get started using the gym? Did he started flying?
So my father was a state. Get that in the military. He got out, and there was another trooper in Canada. Canada almost in place. Most education. Certified. That's how. And I think she understand that. That's what she. So,
I mean, the dad was still just retired and then.
yeah, back.
Oh.
First down. That's the.
Yeah.
Which was. That's why. That's the because he was able to. Always done with that. Now seeing there. Well, I think in that.
Yeah.
Was my father. Used
We used to find small ones.
to
And then. When you're a passenger, you go to the infected. That's. That's how you do something.
Yeah.
Well, my friend was going to try. It was married to him. King, and then they did a bunch of.
Yes.
Everyone's voters to go out and stuff. They said we get ready to my infections, right? And she's not a vote. They would have been just to the prayers. So, what if you send the vote to them? I think it's possible. So you brought it over to Plattsburgh and he's gonna keep it there until whatever it's gonna be brought down. He doesn't need to brought down, you know. And so Al, again, he judged, he ended up, so big, that's how she did. So then I went out the next day. And he was there, so I could chat with him. She was there.
That's the. All things. Although it's there,
Oh, he used to do that. Dave went down. I think he's something. I don't know where I keep them. He finds it. He goes to like. You know, he's thinking it's about him. But he's not. There. They, she might not, so she had a bad. Yeah, so you have to see her out. No,
that's the. Chris options.
yeah, this once in a while, thing would be good. Grandkids, really on same soccer teams. And then she's tall. She's fine. My great friend, I want to try some back. I think sometimes very important in my listeners, she had a one and his wife. Or he finished with us.
Yeah.
My weird.
I remember David was in this one, this is fun.
Now, Dave's was from this area as well. But Dave, married his son. She went to a computer company at the end, 70. And the man. Maybe that's true. Then don't say them. So she, David said, so that was the other some kind of term and. Still have to understand that it was
Absolutely.
we done for and she came back and.
Yeah, it's such a cool.
Yeah.
Some of the other ones. It's just really good.
Yeah.
And it's really true beyond that. You can see a lot.
I didn't. If there was, I was there. Oh, yeah, this is literally just the other involved.
No, the gym purpose, right? Not through the- that's-
Yes.
no, it does seem to be outside of the probably. Yeah, you don't know.
We jumped out of them. Maybe before they had a shut down and we broke that, maybe that's nothing.
Snap that. Well, we said it's almost all we think. He was with stuff for years.
Oh. Christine's still.
Yeah. she was- So. Yeah, we saw, yeah.
Here, really?
Walk on, walk.
Oh, he's very.
Yeah. Walk on. Hey, Tiger. I know. It's not bad, Tiger.
Oh, sorry, we started with it again. Okay. See you on time, school.
Right.
I get that.
We have to see the outside.
Came to the full city.
Yeah.
What do you mean? First time.
I do this on here. Maybe.
Well, maybe next week, so he went to the executive in his office. So I called him. I'm like, I'm not saying, just want to be back. I'm like, wow, that's sense. I'm like, no. It's one of my key. So you. Lose my. So. Yeah.
That was the, so that's big thing going on. Is that gonna be? I don't have a lot for you.
Oh, we can. It's me. But it's not.
Right.
There's an art festival next weekend. So it's a road pusher, but it's smaller scale. And then next week is
That's all.
I think we need to decide, we need to get together and decide if we should shut streets down for the trick or treat thing or not, because we haven't in the past, but I wonder with it's big, and my kids are so.
That's
When she did all that.
Yeah, and people love to.
Yeah. I say,
Like, I agree, some city hall, like,
Where do you want to see the place for the kids to?
yeah, like,
And if we did that, we would be able to manage the path.
that's what I'm wondering, but I just think we should decide which streets we should shut down for, if we can do it. It's both city office and Market Street, like, I don't know if we ever really shut both those down.
Years ago, when years ago, it was big when my brother. She thinks that I used to shut down here because they have a van over in front of, where used to be the green, that Wall Street, they shut that down. And then Margaret, bring her home to probably right here, like, what was that one?
Yeah.
They shut that link, they told me about keeping it down. And then they have, you know, people walk around. Yeah, I mean, here's,
Yeah,
so you have a few years.
I mean, this one would be for, the event is going to be 2 hours long, because it's like 2 really intense hours.
Can get back a little bit, so that.
It's like two.
One day, we started.
Yes. Really manage it. Just
Well, it is
stick
super
with
big.
it. Yeah, it's not-
You know, and I'm not very big of a but that's, you know,
it's not very nice. It's like all the, the Sunday, that's not that.
Yeah.
Yes, Sandy Getty said that to me, that originally they had the holiday parade on Friday nights, and then after a year or two, and all the things will come in. And start to work their commute, and start
It's just that first year. Yeah.
to do that, it's so hard, yeah, but then Saturday was good, yeah. it's not too.
I think it's people sit down and watch it, I see it done one. Give you something to do. You can,
Yeah.
instead of getting done at 5 o'clock.
Yeah. The kids too control too, and it's actually, yeah, well, the first. Last year and the year before, it's been noon 3, this year I made a note to say. You don't leave for noon 2 because people start at like 11:15, people come early. And then they tend to kind of really trickle out like 2:30, so I just start. Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, that's, yeah, I think we just talk about what we exactly want to shut down, but I didn't want to propose shutting it down, you guys. Plus, like, it needs a number, so you still have to be come also.
We didn't go wondering now. But it's be further down here, so it'll be better.
Yeah.
It's all better.
Well, no, yeah, maybe. Yeah, so exactly. Halloween is down here, probably not for you or not. But the last 2 Halloween, I've been here for like 3 children. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Gonna do the battle plans for. You're looking for the plans.
I'm gonna ask their names for that.
Yeah.
Did anyone reach out to you about doing fire truck rides around the pole?
No.
Okay. So you can see, and it's like, people say it's not enough time, but it's all, I'm like, you can go ahead, but that's. So, the fire trucks still. Are you? Guys. Yeah, that's what I was like. Yeah. She was saying like she about. Maybe it was in the maybe students. Yeah. Everything I've learned in this short year, 8 years, so. Yeah. You're gonna have.
You want a lot of those. And if you look at it, you need to do something about it. So here's a lot of people.
Is it changes or like the profit crowds or kind of like, yeah.
Well, this part of this process.
Yeah.
So
Where did she do
no, she got at the CrossFit gym. Stop and talk about it.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that everything this summer. He's got Colin and Karen's son, with him.
It's like. It was kind of- Yeah, it's called.
Yeah.
So. I've got this service, so. And my apologies, but. I think the great- you'll be the most comments. I think we need that. And the challenge. It's out there. Slides, I'm the one that call it city of being in the spring. It's got all this in the spring. So.
Yeah, I don't think we need too many, too many. Have one, one way. Then they're also, there's.
Yes, he's got, Jack,
He's got a daughter.
he's got, yeah, that's got huge.
Yeah. Maybe it's his son. His son goes off in the shop. Karen's maybe been on it. We have a good name, but they're allowed to get it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's not top of the streets. It was like this division plot in the first street. That they just saw it all. But now, like, now these little boys, like when I moved in, it's only three years ago. They were kind of little boys that come to start to speak to teenagers. They can feel like that one is going to get down the street, and like you can hear them in that field, and you're move to the boy. And the girls are coming around now, and it's all shooting, and it is like have to go out there and spray some people with alcohol. Yeah.
Last so because of the string like that, it's the big deal. It's all.
So you just I'll treat it backwards, which is here, yeah. I don't know, since started like 10. He did oxygen. Some 13. Yeah, well, because of one, like going home. And that's it's running, and when you come home, it's running, it's just something, and you could move like. Sure, like the government was like, never had. That was one that came today, you know, that's probably a fun thing for kids. Like, yeah, for climbing, yeah, so that entire. I play, like I had some friends who did the CrossFit stuff, and sometimes it's called like, there's a lot of like ritual and tradition around it, and you miss it work at all. So how did people do that? Channel the one that hanging on to them. And he was coach now.
Scale one just for that. And then, that's nothing. Just a lot of things, but not all of them. They can answer where that's specific. I think it's good. So it's better. Just be smart.
You haven't seen me trying to. Come on, that's the light over. Have your walk. Do the walk and give that. I know. Like, I'm doing yoga. You do for yoga. It's just. Yeah. Oh, no, the yoga machine.
So.
Oh, that's so cool. Like 90 degrees on there. Yeah. Did you do it over at the? No, that is what it is. Yeah. Dangerous. I used to like to do it in winter. It's so hot and you don't feel like so. And then the other thing is like moving the trench, and so hopefully you get into a car and just go over the years and down. I used to live in Toronto. Yeah. That's what I know. It just seems out, you know, it was hard. Once you guys have done my favorite expressions, I think they're I think they're very close to water, when you are very close to the beach or pool. Oh, yeah, oh, sorry, I'm not. Sorry, I have to send her. Well, like now, well, my name. She's the one that's perfect. Oh, yeah. So my brother wanted to see him, he was on, just down in Charleston, and they're on the beach, we're doing the best for her. But I told him to do the beach thing when I'm not there, we went to Charleston. He's never been to shore, we were in the beach every day. Yeah, so you can see my sister-in-law goes to the start of the relationship with office. We did have that one month. We need waking up. Oh, those ones. I didn't say, but I
We just have like video.
Right, it's there. We went on vacation and Maui was in this thing. Saw some airplanes, which is pretty sad. You know. And the holiday, in spring and the holiday winter. No, the cartoons there, which are not nice. We have no cartoons. They're always- they're always- We both not that. You know, words. Oh, you words. Oh, good. What's this about? Oh, it's not going to be different. But we have to hurry these on because zoning isn't set. Oh, so I think we can really fast.
So we're not doing this.
Yeah, see.
So we can. Most of the time, we're regular.
Yeah. Are you waiting?
I'm just sitting.
Oh.
I thought they were coming back sooner than they did, but the agenda's clear. So
We're going to the journal.
Yeah.
Starters. Well. And we will be on there.
yeah, we're talking about everything.
Great, you guys are your dad. I would, my, I would never, I would.
So, we actually work Sundays together. Yeah, I would work. That's not even like-
I have to call them on the thing, tell them she'll be good with Jeff. Yeah.
Make sure it's sad funds before.
Yeah. It was a election, but there.
Yeah.
Oh. So they expected the parents, the insurance, it'll be one of them. A lot of them on the right, you can have to spend out. So no, issues are, what's the insurance for you? Yeah. So the last one is gonna record. No, they're not the types of. On your monitor.
So.
This personal dog, your wife always said. You have a, I would use it. Well, that's what I've heard about how well it's like, it's all in operating and don't. It's naturally very strong. So, all of it's. One of those, like roads, it's. And they really keep them. So they engage her, and she was mom around. Oh, it's true. See, it's true. Well. What are they eating today? Crickets.
Blueberries. Blueberries. Raspberry.
How do you know when you know this? How can you tell they like to know like something?
No, choose not. She's never been used to.
Are they like?
Yeah, but it's been all fun together.
Oh, really?
So that would be more certain.
Did you ever notice? Yeah, they keep them all the way, so. And there's wheels. Can I get a wheel? Yeah, we want to get to fish, full fish, not speaking about this part. To this fundraiser. And then they release full fish, yeah. She like does this, I guess this is such a great parent, and it's right where they're just like, they give it to the child. I can't do that. So, oh, yeah, now you're like, now you the dad, but now we will use for fish and they're, we can, they're, they've actually grown a little bit, I feel like personally proud of them. We're probably the teacher. Yeah, we'll use them in the whole, happening, but like in people. Yeah. Are you here for thing or something? At 7 o'clock. Yeah, it will, we're delayed, so you're welcome to sit in, but we had another council meeting before they started at 7. I moved about 2 years ago when I said. I made a goal working for a whole. I just want to know, sometime after 7, we want to, for our other meeting after this. I get one. There you go. Thank you very much.
Last thing, they're still every 2 months. I think it was just like that box. Yeah, I just got some stuff for the rest of this is what they're doing.
When I was young and working, I barely had time for anything. Now it's like, oh my God.
We see you back there, Beth.
I was over there. Oh, you can see me back there or here?
No, I mean back from. It's the first time.
I'm back. Usually people don't hear me before they see me.
You stay in executive session?
And what?
In executive session?
Yeah.
No. Well, that makes me very much on time then.
Yeah, they're right.
For a change.
Okay.
Sorry to keep you waiting there, Phil.
Well, I'm older, I just took advantage of being arrested.
Easy to come back.
We solved all the city's problems.
I'm all for that.
Motion to come out of executive session, no action was taken. Counselor Bob, second by Counselor Kelly, all in favor?
Aye.
We're now out of executive session. I'll now entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Counselor Bob, second by Counselor Kelly, all in favor?
Aye.
You're now adjourned. Thanks, folks.
Thank you.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Oh, here.
Yeah, right. So are we going to move right in? So at this time, I will call the City Operations Committee to order. It is 6:24 p.m. on Monday, August 15th, 2022. Roll call. So I've got Councilor Gibbs. She has been excused this evening. Councilor Moore.
Here.
Mayor Rosenquist.
Here. Thanks.
And Chairperson Bob is present. I will first take a motion to approve the minutes of the July 11th, 2022 City Operations Committee.
Motion.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilor Moore, second by Mayor Rosenquist. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No. Okay, moving on to item 2, we've got the city clerk report. So 2.1, discussion of city clerk monthly report. We received that in our packet. Are there any questions, concerns anybody has regarding the monthly report from the clerk? Okay, and she's not here tonight, so seeing none, we will move on to number 3. We've got our community events, starting with 3.1. We have discussion. This will be a report from our city services debrief on the 4th of July celebration. Hi, Courtney.
Hi, everyone.
Well.
I sent over a debrief in the notes, so everybody have a chance to look over a couple of the key points. But I'm happy to just highlight the week following the 4th of July, our city services had a meeting, was consisting of the mayor, community engagement coordinator, the recreation leader, police, fire, and public works, and municipal lighting. And we all just looked over how things went on the 4th of July. We just looked at the major buckets of the day, the logistics of the parade, the fireworks, and the bands. And then everybody just put forward a couple observations, things that we want to consider when moving into next year. So some of the things for the parade that we wanted to consider were doubling the number of porta potties. We received feedback from the community that they just reach capacity early on in the day. And so just making a note for that.
To a point to that as well, we will have the vendor building open. My goal right now, well, I think our goal right now is to have it open for Battle of Plattsburgh, but the vendor building, which has 2 bathroom facilities in it, they also have that available for public events downtown.
Yeah, and then exploring having maybe a more formal partnership with community organizations such as Sunrise Rotary to just up our event volunteers for the day so that we can have more human power for things like parade check-in and registration and keeping everyone safe on the parade route. And then there's just a couple sort of fine-tuning things that we noticed on the parade route, making sure that fire trucks and other large vehicles have enough room to make certain
right-hand turns and just blocking off certain areas on the streets, with cones or barricades to make sure that the public isn't coming into too close a contact with any of the large vehicles in the parade. With the bands, we had a discussion of, maybe having the layout change a little bit for next year. So that's something that we'll be, reviewing and just discussing internally as to how we want things laid out next year. And then with fireworks, the police department had a couple highlights, wanting to just up their officer count in the area, specifically to alleviate traffic flow and flow of people leaving the Harborside area after the fireworks are done, just so that we're not having traffic jams and things like that. And we also had the idea of trying to better advertise and communicate to the public, just better spots to view the fireworks that are outside of the Harborside area. So like City Hall Place or the Plattsburgh City Beach or Champlain Monument, so that we're not having such a huge amount of people down in one spot. So yeah, those were kind of the highlights for 4th of July. I'd like to provide a debrief for Mayor's Cup, just due to scheduling conflicts between Sunrise Rotary and myself. We haven't been able to meet, but we do have one planned, and I'll report back when we get notes from them. I'm happy to answer any questions, or if anybody on the council has feedback, also happy to hear that too.
Courtney, did you say you sent that in an email? Because I'm not seeing it in our folder in the drive.
I had it included in, maybe it didn't make it into the folder. I think I sent it over to you. Yeah, before vacation. Before yeah, that's very possible. Things didn't make over, but
All the part with, and Courtney going on vacation.
but I can.
I promise you that's the truth.
I can send it.
But yeah, if you
Yeah,
email it
yeah.
out.
Sorry,
I just wanted to take a look. It's okay. I just linked it in.
I swear I put it in there, but I'll.
Okay. Sometimes things just don't upload right. Any further questions or discussion on this particular item at this time?
No, thank you, Courtney, for organizing, and, obviously a lot of departments had to come together for this. That went very smoothly. We had a lot of positive feedback on the event. People really loved the music. There were some questions about next year, where to put the music and how to manage that, but I think overall, these are great learning opportunities, especially when we do after action reviews like this. To make sure that not only did we do well, but more importantly, and as important, how do we do better next time? Not only for this event, but for also other future. Thank you for putting all that work in. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll move on to the next item here. We've got a couple of draft resolutions for the upcoming Battle of Plattsburgh event. So starting with 3.2, we have the draft resolution to authorize payment for band and sound services for the 2022 Battle of Plattsburgh commemoration weekend.
Motion.
Motion from Mayor Rosenquist, second from Councilor Moore. Do we have any discussion on this item? Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Aye. None opposed. This will move to the common council on Thursday. Moving to item 3.3, draft resolution approval of 2022 Battle of Plattsburgh beer gardens for Battle of Plattsburgh commemoration. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I will second that.
Motion from Councilor Moore, second from Mayor Rosenquist. Do we have any discussion on this item? Okay, pretty straightforward. We've done these for some other events, so all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, none opposed. So move forward to the council. 3.4, draft resolution approval for street closure Clinton Street. Motion. Mayor Rosenquist, second for Councilor Moore. Any discussion here?
Since this is the first one of these, do you know what's planned for that?
I don't personally know. Yeah, please. I don't personally know.
I'm just curious. It's first one.
Yeah, so the person who submitted this request owns Island Vibes, which is the restaurant / store on Clinton Street, and they have music planned for the day, showcasing and highlighting Caribbean culture, and then also having people, promoting their businesses and vending from their businesses out into the street.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's completely awesome. Really glad to see that happening. Cool. All right, any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And our last item tonight, 3.5 draft resolution. We got another approval for street closure. This one for the Battle of Plattsburgh event. Motion.
Motion.
Second.
Motion from Councilor Moore, second from Mayor Rosenquist. So this looks like it's
Oops.
New York Road between Highway 9 and Ohio Avenue. But
Nothing, sorry.
Any discussion?
This is for the race. This is not for the downtown street closures that have already been approved. Yep. This is for the race around the Oval, Nevada Oval, and near US Avenue. It is going to be closed north on New York Avenue to allow for driving access into Maple Fields parking lot. So it's going to be closed right after the roundabout.
That looks like 8 AM to 11 AM, so. All right, any further discussion on this matter? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
None opposed, this will move forward to council. At this time, if there's any members of the public who'd like to make comment, we'd invite them to do so. Please come up to the podium. Okay, seeing none, is there any new business to come before this committee?
None.
All right, seeing none, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Mayor Roscoe, second by Council Moore. All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned. Thank you.